Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we are doing another Kaladesh Draft League. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, like the videos. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Inez27. Alright, we have Snarethopter and Freighter. I think we just err towards Freighter. I do like Snarethopter a lot. Both cards keep us completely open, which is nice. Our rare is Dynavolt Tower. Oh yeah, let's not forget the preview pane. People love the preview pane. Love that preview pane. Alright, so there's Dynavolt Tower. But yeah, I think we're just going for Freighter. And like I said, I think Snarethopter is very good too. All of these cards are good. But Freighter and go. Ooh. Follow up with a Chief of the Foundry. That's actually a really nice follow-up to Freighter because turn 3 Freighter, turn 4 Chief, swing for 6 on turn 4. Yeah. Man, beatdown is fast these days, isn't it? What else is good in this pack? The Crane is fine, the Sentry's fine, the Theorist, all of the blue cards are good and playable enough. Artisan's playable. And then, nothing else too exciting, but Chief is certainly a good follow-up. Okay, so what do we want here? There's Die Young, which is removal. We could actually just take the Prism. Like I said last time, I really want to start playing this card. I mean, Die Young's removal, and it's pretty good. And there's a Malphite Squad and a Serpent. None of these cards are really blowing my mind. Yeah, I might just be okay taking the Prism here. I'm taking it over a removal spell, but I'm trying to think what I think about Die Young. It's certainly been fine for me. It's not like a reason to be in black. Let's just take the Prism. I'm okay with that. We're going to figure this out, though. Believe you me. All right. So we have a Decoction module, but I kind of want the Sky Skiff now. And nothing else too good in here. The Riparian Tiger, the Hawk, the Acrobatic Maneuver, the Decoction module. But we'll take the Sky Skiff. Look how open we are. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Find something worth going in yet? No, not really. I like Bomad Courier. Some people don't like this card, but I actually just like this card. I might just take it here. There's a Fragmentize, which is good. Artisan, which is playable. Puzzle Knot, playable. I might just take the rare. I don't know why this card plays so well, but it really does. So, let's take Courier here. Take the rare. Okay, so now we have basically Bastion Mastodon. There's an Ornamental Courage combat trick and Tezzeret's Ambition. All these cards are fine. I mean, Ambition is basically, in this deck already, it's 5 mana, draw 3. Which is pretty good. We could just take the Mastodon because it's 5 mana, 4/5 beater, which is good. Certainly good with the Chief. I mean, if we do actually end up playing Courier, we have to be red. Or at least, well, actually maybe with the Prism. Maybe that's too ambitious. I don't know. Maybe that's too Tezzeret's Ambition. We'll take the Mastodon. Ooh. Well, Foundry Inspector's like a bomb in our deck now. Make everything cheaper. That's a late Foundry Inspector, actually. This card's just good. There's a late Pioneer in here as well. And I guess that's it in terms of good cards. But Inspector, certainly a nice pickup for us. Okay, well, Quicksmith Genius gets a lot better when your entire deck is artifacts. So we could take that. There's also a Puzzle Knot in here, which I guess is good with the Chief. But yeah, I'm fine with Quicksmith Genius here. It's a nice pickup. So we want to be red something artifacty. Yeah, Serpent gets just a lot better now. There's a spontaneous artist, which is fine too. But with this many artifacts, it just kind of makes sense to me to take the Serpent. I think Serpent seems like a solid game plan idea. And red-blue artifacty archetype is pretty good, I think, anyway. So Blade Master, select for inspection. I guess since we're so devoid of removal, maybe select for inspection is a nice pickup here. We'll find better creatures later than Blade Master. Primarily still just looking for artifact cards. Keep having to read this card, and every time I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, not that good. Yeah, it's just the fact that you can help your opponent makes it not that good. Let's try this Cathartic Reunion out. I've had this played against me a few times now, and it's done more than I thought it would. All right, so there's Weldfast Wingsmith, which I think we're going to take over Spark and Reunion. This seems like it'll be evading a lot of the time. All right, I guess well, probably don't need two, but I'm not likely to play the... Well, at least we're getting late red cards. Okay. So, pretty successful pack one, I guess. Here's an Aether Squall Ancient, which is good. There's a Brazen Scourge. Fairgrounds Warden in white, which is definitely very good. I could take the Ancient. We have no other energy cards in our deck, so essentially 7 mana, 6/6 flyer. Not that that's bad, it's just... It's not really in line with what we're doing. And, I mean, I might just first pick the Aether Theorist. I like having the Scry effect a lot. It's not an artifact like the Puzzle Knot, but making your card quality better is pretty good. It's fairly unexciting first pick. And I could take the Warden and either splash it off a Prism or kind of abandon ship on maybe one of our colors, which is fine too, 'cause it's a lot better than Theorist. But I think I'm going to take the Theorist anyway. Ooh, Whirler Virtuoso. There's a card I can get behind. Very good for us now. A lot better now that we have the Theorist. So I guess we have a little more incentive to go Energy. Another Prism and a Sky Skiff in here as well. But yeah, we're going to take Virtuoso and be happy that we're doing red-blue. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we have a Fireweaver, which does look good in here. We also have the Dakara Peafowl, another artifact, and an Ambition, some card draw. All of these cards are good. Removal in green is Nature's Way, and a Seed Sculptor in here too, which is good. I'm fine taking the Fireweaver, I guess. Synergistically, it's good. Same argument for Peafowl, though. Probably err towards the cheaper guy. Just take the Fireweaver. I do like that Peafowl is evasive, but... There's a Cloud Blazer. Well, we have the Prism, so I think we're going to go for the splash here. Finally, right? So we'll splash for Cloud Blazer. Be happy enough about that. And we're taking it over like a Self-Assembler anyway, which isn't... Or the Dragster. Either of those cards would be fine, but we'll take Blazer. So Pyrohelix, which I like. There's a Thriving Turtle, which synergizes with our Virtuoso, I guess. But we need some removal, and Pyrohelix does that well, so we'll take it. Not really getting any artifacts, I suppose, but... so there's Goggles, Dragster, but we probably want the Malfunction. There's also an Infiltrator. But we actually are pretty much devoid of any, and I don't really want to play the Hijack too much. We're pretty much devoid of any removal besides the Pyrohelix, right? So I think we just need a deal with anything card here, like Malfunction. Well, this is a kind of underwhelming pack for us. I could take the Disappearing Act. I don't need another Hijack. I don't really need a second Select for Inspection either. I guess we'll take Disappearing Act. Chances of me playing it are pretty low, but I guess it's kind of cool with Cloud Blazer. Alright, Sky Skiff is nice. Coming back. Take a second one. Trade Winds, I think for the most part I like more than Select for Inspection. Automaton, I guess, gets cheaper from an Inspector, which isn't bad, but I think we'll take Trade Winds here. I've got this and this. I guess we'll take a Rebuff. That's a late underhanded design. I mean, I could splash for it. I'm not going to play Rebuff. I guess I'll consider it if I get another Prism. It's something to consider, I guess. Alright, Ambition actually looks good for us. Contraband Kingpin. Maybe. Splash. Like, if this deck gets another Prism, we're kind of in business. We're kind of doing it. So cards I'm already kind of on the fence about are Disappearing Act, Cathartic Reunion, Metalwork Colossus, non-creature artifacts. I mean, we basically have Sky Skiff, Prophetic Prism, Renegade Freighter. We have a decent amount early. Could take the Sky Whale. Synergistically speaking, it's not exactly what we're trying to do, but 4 mana, 4 power flying, it puts games away pretty effectively. Otherwise, I can take the Furious Reprisal as well, another removal spell, which I like, but I don't know, I'm a big fan of the Sky Whale. There's some people that don't value it as much as I do, but I've won a lot of games on the back of Sky Whales. So I think I'm going to take it over the removal here. 4 mana, 4 power flying. I just can't stop myself here. So Speedway Fanatic. I guess we have 3 vehicles, so it's not the worst idea. There's not really that much else in here we're interested in anyway, so I guess we'll take it. Well, Gearsmith seems a little bit too difficult to splash. Skywhaler Shot, I guess I could splash. I don't need a second Trade Winds. I don't really need anything in here. Splashing a Skywhaler Shot off a Prism. Well, we're already splashing Cloud Blazer, so yeah, I guess I could. Alright. It's a strong removal spell. So, Bomat, Bazaar, Barge. Shrewd Negotiation seems pretty good. We've got, what are the ones we want to trade, though? I guess Prism is the best, obviously. Actually, somehow we've managed to not pick up artifacts for a long time. Since, like, back 1. Another vehicle seems a bit excessive. We already have 3. That's kind of my limit. I'm willing to do the Shrewd Negotiation, I guess. Trade for something bomby if I have to. Goggles is okay in the deck. I mean, we have a couple Artificers, but not a ton. Guess we'll take the Shrewd Negotiation. Alright, Weldfast Monitor is a nice pickup. Another artifact. Paradoxical Outcome. I actually had this played against me, and I was pretty impressed, but I don't think we have a ton of synergies in this deck with it, so I guess we'll take the Monitor. So Wayward Giant, yet another 5-drop, which we're probably good on. I mean, I guess in our deck it is better than a Mastodon, but Mastodon has synergy with Chief and makes our Serpent cheaper. Although, at this point, I don't know if that's happening. I think these 2 are out, by the way. There's also a Puzzle Knot, which is certainly playable. Maybe we'll just take it. It's a good sideboard card to have, too. I mean, if you go up against the Narnum Cobra or other X1 deck, This card can do some work. All right, P-Foul is good. Inventor's Fair is pretty good. I think Inventor's Fair usually is better when you have some bomby artifact to search up. Like most of the time, we'd probably just find a Freighter or a Chief. I'm not going to splash for Pioneer, but yeah, we'll take the P-Foul over the Puzzle Knot and Doorbuster. Both of which are pretty good, actually. But we'll take P-Foul. We'll get another evasive artifact, dude. Brawler. Nimble Innovator. Guess we'll take a second Trade Winds. I guess Trade Winds with Shrewd Negotiation is kind of cool. You trade something, then you bounce it back, and you get it back. I like that, actually. Infiltrator versus second Wingsmith. I think we'll take the Infiltrator now. I'm not even sure if it's going to happen, but we'll figure it out. All the Trade Winds. Guess Demolish. I don't have any ways to deal with artifacts, really. I really do have all the Trade Winds, huh? All right, geez. Whatever. Okay, second to last pick. Wayward Giant. All right, so we have some cuts to make. We'll have to do artifact count. I don't think we're splashing for black. But we are going to try splashing for white. So let's dump the Kingpin. Plan. Underhanded design. Get this land out of here. I hate how it moves everything over. Why does it do that? That seems so illogical. All right. So we have 30 cards in the deck. We have to make a lot of cuts. So what shall our cuts be? Probably don't need double Trade Wind. In fact, one Trade Wind's probably... I don't need a Trade Wind and Inspection. Usually just one bounce spell should do everything you need to do. I keep forgetting. All you have to do is move it over. I don't know why they have that glitch, but if you move it over one slot, it doesn't move the whole thing over. So maybe we don't have to main deck the Puzzle Knot, although why don't we do just a quick little artifact count and figure this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is a pretty good count. Removal, we have got a Puzzle Knot, a Pyrohelix, a Shot, a Trade Winds, a Malfunction, and I guess a Shrewd Negotiation as well. So we can certainly afford to cut a creature or two. I don't mind the Speedway Fanatic because it's cheap. We want as many cheap things as we can. The Wingsmith is maybe the least exciting, although it can certainly get flying fairly often in this deck, I would think. But either way, we got to cut like 5 cards. So let's figure this out. Maybe we just nix the splash for Skywhaler's Shot and just splash for the Cloud Blazer. I like that Skywhaler's Shot deals with a lot of things, though. Maybe we don't main deck the Puzzle Knot. This card's pretty unexciting, I would think most of the time, at least main deck. So sideboarding into it seems better. We can cut some creatures, like Sky Skiffs and Renegade Freighter each count as like half a creature, so we have like 18.5 creatures. We can certainly cut 1 or 2. I don't really need an Infiltrator, although Infiltrator is awesome at crewing vehicles, so maybe we just dump the Wingsmith. Wingsmith's whatever most of the time. I like that it can fly in, but I don't need to really worry about it too much, I think. So I kind of like having all these 5-drops, but is it too many? I don't think so. I mean, I guess it's 5-5-drops with the Ambition and the Shrewd Negotiation as well, which maybe seems like quite a bit. I don't think Whirler Virtuoso's phenomenal in this deck. What I do like about it is we can like bounce it and then get to do it again. But basically, Theorist and Virtuoso are our only energy cards, which does make I mean, even if Virtuoso is a 3-mana 2/3 that spits out a 1/1 flyer, That's pretty good. In a chief deck, especially. So I'd prefer to not cut any more of my artifacts. So where are the cuts? This is gotta be decided here. So the reason I like the Ambition is I just like having a card draw spell in the deck. Speedway Fanatic is just because it's cheap and it can crew things. But we're going to have to actually make a decision here on 3 more cuts. I think our removal is good too, so it should be like 3 creatures maybe. And I really don't know which ones they're supposed to be. I mean, I guess we could cut a Mastodon. I can give it Vigilance off the splash, though. So maybe we cut the Giant. I've been pretty impressed with the Menace on Giant, though. But maybe one of them does have to go. Maybe 4 or 5 drops is a wiser idea. I still think I like the Serpent in here. Feels like most of the time we're going to play it for 5 mana. And a 5 mana 5/6 that can be made unblockable is very strong. So, Mastodon versus Giant. The Mastodon synergies are solely make Serpent cheaper and loot off Quicksmith Genius and Chief of the Foundry and cheaper off Foundry Inspector. Like, there's a lot of things. There's probably just enough things where I run it over getting the Menace. So 2 more cuts. I'm kind of tempted to cut Fanatic just because even though we have 3 vehicles, I'm not in love with the card outside of that. But like I said, we kind of... Maybe it just makes more sense to cut a 3-drop because we have a lot of 3-drops. So maybe cutting the Infiltrator is okay. I would prefer to not cut both, I guess, but... Alright, we really have to cut 1 more card. And even though it says 14 creatures, it's not entirely accurate. I mean, like I said, the vehicles, they're tough cards to count as creatures because they require creatures, but they kind of count as creatures because they put games away like creatures. Alright, so we probably shouldn't cut another creature. So maybe we can cut 1 spell. I mean, maybe it's the Shot just because it's off color, but this card is strong. This kills with a lot of things, and our deck doesn't have a ton of ways to deal with big things. But our mana base seems a lot better if we're like 1 Prism, 1 Plains for the 1 Cloud Blazer in our deck, and then we just don't dilute it very much. And we still have, what, a Pyrohelix, a Trade Winds, a Malfunction, and a Shrewd Negotiation. That ideally is enough to deal with anything. I mean, Negotiation and Malfunction are technically catch-all removal spells in terms of creatures. And Skywhaler's Shot, even though it is, you know, it reads like it's a specific removal spell, I don't think it's as specific as it looks. Power 3 or greater is a lot of the creatures in the format. So I think most of the time this is just hard removal spell with upside. Huh. All right. I mean, my gut is telling me cut the Shot and just splash for the Cloud Blazer and be okay with that. So I think we're cutting the Skywhaler Shot. And I mean, we look good. Our curve is actually really good. We have some card advantage spells in Career and Ambition. We have some evasion, right? Skywhale, Peafowl, Cloud Blazer, Serpent, Virtuoso. We have some cheap beatdown effects like Renegade Freighter. How good is Fireweaver in here? I think we still have 10 artifacts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We still have 11. Yeah. I think Fireweaver is going to be good enough. All right. So let's sort by color and take a look. Like I said, we're just going to run 1 Plains, which they agree with. 5. I don't know about 5. I think we'll probably do 9, 7. We do actually have some. We have 3 double blue spells, but with the prophetic prism in the deck, we have like 10 islands, 8 mountains, 2 plains. So that's actually pretty good. Certainly good enough for me. All right. I like the way this deck looks. I finally like that we can play the prism and actually get some value out of it. Tough card or tough deck to build in the end. It was because I wanted to find space for Sky Whaler's shot, but I just don't know what I'm supposed to cut in its place. Like I said, I'm a little skeptical about Fnatic, but we have 3 vehicles, so if this isn't the deck for Fnatic, I kind of don't know what is. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess I just don't know what I'm supposed to swap for Sky Whaler shot. So, all right, here it is. Red, blue, artifacts. Let's see how it runs. We'll see you round 1.